Okay, hello friends, this is Yusuf here. Welcome to part 7 of our crash course AWS Serverless course. So, last video we have seen everything about API gateway and Lambda functions. So, it's time to move on to the next step, which is the DynamoDB. So, as we have seen in our introductory video, so DynamoDB is a NoSQL based DB service offered by AWS, which will handle high number of requests easily. Like we can store and then retrieve data in a large scale without worrying about the infrastructure and so on. Okay, so I'm at my AWS console and I'm gonna type DynamoDB. Click it. So in this video we are going to see how to create a DynamoDB and see some aspect of it, and if we have time we will also try to see we can create a Lambda function and write some code to retrieve the data from the DynamoDB. Okay, so here this is the landing page of the DynamoDB where you can see some statistics, but we are interested in create table. Okay, so let's create a table. So here we need to give a table name. So for this tutorial we are going to create a table called to dos. Okay, so it's a simple table which will hold the to do information, and for a table primary key is the important information. So it is a mandatory field, so we need to give at least one key or one column which needs to be a primary key for that record. It should be unique, and it should be a string. Okay, I think you can change it, yeah, but it's better if it is a string. Okay, what it says. Okay, fine. So here I'm going to give the column name. So I say that to do id. I'm going to make id field which is going to be a primary key for this. And if you want to have a sort key, you can have it. So basically sort key is another column basically you will attach with the primary key to make sure it's a record is unique. So I'm going to have the default settings, but if you exclude the tick mark, right, you will see that do you want to have a secondary index, and how is the read and write capacity you want. So basically how many read and write you are planning. Okay, if you don't know the read and write capacity, we can give on demand. So when we give on demand, right, so what happens if it is in your production application and suddenly the high volume of traffic coming in, then AWS will handle the request accordingly, and if it is going to be low volume in some point in time, then also the AWS will take care of it by reducing the resource, and then your cost will be optimized. Okay, but since we are having a free tier, right, so we will give the provisioned. So provisioned is nothing but a 5 read and 5 write capacity per second, which means in a second I can only read 5 records and write only 5 records, which is pretty much enough for our demo purpose. Okay, and these are other things which basically you can try to see if you change the read and write capacity how much cost is going to come. Okay, which we are not going to take now. That's it. So encryption we are giving default and click create. So this should create a table called to dos. Okay, so this is how the home page of the table looks like. Here we have few tabs and here we have few information. Okay, but we are interested in the items tab. So if you go to the items tab, currently we do not have any item, so I'm going to add item. Okay, so basically we'll create item. So this is how we can create a record in DynamoDB in the AWS console. Okay, so later we will try to create the record via programming, that we will do later, but as of now, to work with some data, we are going to create some dummy record. So as usual, since we have given primary key as to do id, it is coming here. So I'm going to give some id. So id underscore 123. It can be any string. So here we are not enclosing with the double quotes because since it is a string type, it will automatically converting into string, and can click plus and then click append string. So which means I'm going to have another record, another column. Okay, so I say that it's going to be to do name. Okay, and I'm going the value like learn AWS. Okay, and then click and append. I'm going to have a string called to do description. Okay, again learn AWS in 1 week, which is not possible. Anyway, so then I'm going to have a different data type. Basically there is a boolean. Okay, so to do status. Okay, or to do status. Okay, complete to do completed. Okay, to do completed, I say false. Okay, fine. So this is how we add the number of columns. Here we have few options. So you can click tree and change it text. You will see the same data in a JSON format. Okay, and you can, there is a DynamoDB JSON format. If you check that checkbox, right, you will see a different data. So that this data is nothing but it's a way of DynamoDB how it stores data inside. Okay, so the difference between a normal JSON and DynamoDB JSON is nothing but, if it, say for example, in the JSON we give key value pair, right? So to do ID is a key and this is the value, and we, by looking into that, we know it's a string because it is in double quotes. But how DynamoDB will take care is nothing but a key, which is to do ID. Instead of having the value directly, it will have an object. Okay, that object will have the data type and then value. So now you can compare to do ID. It says that it's having an object, and inside the object it says it's a string and it's a value. Okay, that is the thing. So here you can see to do completed, we can see it's a boolean and false. So we want to understand this because this is the format will be used by DynamoDB while returning the value, and then even when we are writing the new record via programming, we need to follow this structure. Okay, we will see that in later point in time. So now we can click save. Now you can see the record is available here. Let me quickly add another record. So id underscore 321, and then we gave append string to do name, we gave sleep. Anyway, we will sleep. Append string to do description, sleep well, and then boolean, where is the boolean, to do completed, true. Okay, the one more point is it's a NoSQL based DB, right? Which means here, even if I give a new thing, okay, like say to do extra, okay, it's extra field, okay, and I say dummy, it won't complain. Okay, it won't say that first record is not having the data, that column, second record is having the column, so it's wrong. No, that's the beauty of NoSQL, because we don't need to have a same set of columns for all the records. Okay, it's a document based model. Okay, so whatever is applicable for that record, when I say record, it's one row, only those value can be available. That's enough. Fine. So this is how we create item, and there are few things here. Basically, you can do a search if you want. You can give a start search, add a filter first. Okay, so you say for example, to do completed, I say it's going to be boolean, I say true. Then if you start search, we will get only that record. Okay, very simple stuff. Now okay, what we are interested in, so we are interested in writing code to retrieve that record. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to create one Lambda function, and using that function I'm going to call that function that's going to retrieve these two values. Okay, let's go to services. Okay, I have already this opened here. We'll create a new function. Okay, create a function. So we say that get to do lambda. Okay, any name we can give. We're gonna use Node.js create function. So how this is gonna work? So whatever the package needed to connect to DynamoDB is available in the AWS environment. Okay, if it is Node.js, then the Node.js SDK, so software development kit. Okay, if it is Python, then Python SDK, everything is already available in the environment. So we are just going to just import those in packages to our code, and then we'll start using it. Okay, let's see how to do that. So what I'm going to do, as usual, first change is async, and then we'll have the context and callback. And now we don't want everything. Okay, we can remove it. Okay, so here we're going to import few things. So first of all, const AWS is equals to here we say that I have a sample code available. Okay, so require AWS Sdk. Okay, so AWS Sdk is the package for Node.js available already on the environment. Okay, then from that AWS package, we're going to create an instance called DB, which is going to be new AWS dot DynamoDB. Okay, so we are creating a DynamoDB instance from the package. So it's going to take one parameter of a JSON string, which will have two things. One is the region, okay, from which region we are going to access the DynamoDB. Okay, so I say that AP Southeast 1, because that is our region. You can see here AP Southeast 1. And secondly, it will take API, I think version or API version. We'll take this code. Okay, it will take a version, because there are two way of syntax available, but we are sticking with the latest one. Okay, with this two line, right, we can have this access to the DB variable using which we can do stuff. Okay, now what we are going to do here, first we're going to create a variable called params. Okay, is equals to, and this is going to take table name, and the table name is to-dos. Okay, that's it. So this is our query parameter, and we're going to say db dot scan. So that is a method called scan available inside the db package. Okay, it will take two things. One is params, and other one is actually a function callback. Okay, so the for that function callback, it's going to have two arguments, so error or data. So let me do error function. So if we have a error, then I'm going to say a callback with error. Okay, and if not, then I'm going to say first console log that data, and here also I can do console log the data, right? And here I will say callback, and I don't have error now, so null. Second argument is going to be the data itself, so I'm just sending the data back. So this is our code. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay, so now we want to run it, but I'm telling upfront, while running it won't work. Okay, I'll tell why. Okay, so let's basically save it and test it. Now it will ask for the test case, so get to do. Anyway, here doesn't matter, so I create a dummy test event, test case, and I click test. So now we can see that we get a exception, that access denied exception. Okay, because as I said in my first video, by definition we don't have access for one AWS service to call other AWS service. Okay, we need to provide all the permissions by explicitly by ourselves. So now what it says, see, this lambda function is not having access to read the lambda read the DynamoDB call to do. Okay, that is the exception we are getting. So how do you do that? So let's go to the permission. As we already see shown in the previous video, right, while creating the lambda function, it will create a new role, okay, with the default permission to the CloudWatch, because it needs to log the logs in the cloud, right? That's why we see the resource here. Now we need to add a DynamoDB resource so that it can read it. Okay, that is the objective. Now I'm going to click this role name, which is assigned to this lambda function, and it is going to the next page, in which we are going to add something. Okay, so currently it is assigned with only one role called AWS Lambda basic execution role, which is actually containing the CloudWatch related policies. Okay, yes, CloudWatch logs. Okay, so how we can attach our DynamoDB policy here? The best way is to create a policy, because we can create the security and those things in a more granular way, so that we are giving only a specific permission to the lambda function by not giving the overall permission. So for that, we're going to policy section on the left hand side, and we're going to create one policy. Okay, so I say create policy, and here I say I'm going to create a policy for DynamoDB. Okay, and if you come down, and DynamoDB has a list of the options, okay, for which we can create a policy. So if you know the method already, we are using a scan method, right? You can type scan, it will come as like this, or if you don't know, we can see this higher level access. So we are trying to read it. Okay, if you click read, it will show what are okay, it's targeting all the read, which is 21 type of read we can do. If you click this one, you see this is the 21 type of read. So I want to deselect that. I'm going to select only the scan option. Okay, and if you come down, resources, so on what resource we are trying to give this access. So we are going to give access only for that table called to do. Okay, so for that we're going to select this table option and click add ARN. Okay, now it's asking the region, which is AP Southeast one, and table name is to-dos. So with this we are creating a policy for the DynamoDB to-do table for only scan operation. Okay, and let's go to the review policy and give some name. So I say that scan to do DynamoDB. Okay, create a policy. So now you can see how much granular we are going. Okay, now it's created. Now in the basically the Lambda function, now let's click the role name. It will open up that role. Now we should be able to attach this new policy into the role. Okay, you can see attach policies, and here we say scan to do DynamoDB. Okay, let's check that one. Attach policy. Okay, now it has been attached. Now go to the Lambda function, go to configuration, and now we are ready to test. Okay, let's click test. Now we got a success response in the details section. If you come down, now we are able to see the data. Okay, but now the point is this data is in a different format. For that, what we can do is a simple Node.js stuff. Okay, so I'm going to say that Json dot stringify of the data variable. Okay, now let's save it and test it. Okay, just a minute. Sometimes it is not getting saved. Okay, here we got the data. Okay, so basically we got the items, and to do we can see that the data is returned in the format of what is that DynamoDB JSON structure. Okay, so that's how we access the DynamoDB from our Lambda function. So in the next video we are going to link everything together, which means we are going to create a API gateway endpoint which is going to call this particular Lambda function, which eventually return the data from DynamoDB. Okay, that's our next objective. So yeah, until then I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.